EQ has to be part of the leadership toolbox for achieving better performance. Und wir sagen, Antwort 1, EQ can help in some situation. Antwort 2, EQ will be helpful in any regard to increase performance. Und 3, EQ is too complex to increase performance.
Karen, I was thinking, I'd like to hear what you say about this, but I'd also like to hear from the people who are answering this with quite, completely different answers. I'd like to hear from them examples. I don't know if that's okay for you, but I'll pass it to you. I'd like to hear their examples of when it will be helpful in any regard or in some situations.
Yeah, so I think that's really one of the very, very tough questions. Because first of all, we have well, I don't want to influence this poll, but let's put it like this. Yeah, maybe not every form of trust is fit for every situation. The question is, will you always find one form of trust that will be adequate for the situation? Because I don't know whether we are aligned on this. Because we really developed this last question in a very sportive way, I would say. So maybe, yeah, it depends on the perspective, I would say. So not every form of trust is always good in, well, EQ can be helpful, but you may need different tools. So of course, trust. So let's take that as an example. In some situations, you may want to base on competence-based trust, and in other situations, on identity-based trust. So you really have to look what you're asking for. And when you look into the other tools of emotional intelligence, then it is quite similar. I think what you always can do with emotional intelligence, you can ask yourself, am I trying to make defensive decisions? Because I'm not courageous enough, although I know my gut feel tells me something else. So, and then I can inquire, why is this so? And what can I maybe do? And to whom could I go really to address that issue? I think also what you always can do probably is to be aware how you tick. So, what are the emotions or what are the situations that create a conflict of interest for you? Because this is when the emotions come up and where your reaction might not be entirely adequate or not the best you can do. Yeah. And where you might need Lisa's help, for instance. Or, yeah, our Swiss FinTech ladies help as well. We do that as well for free. And the third question you should have: so, what makes me tick? What does the other person make? What makes the other person tick? And there are so many profiling instruments around. Yeah, RISE profile, Insight Discovery, MBTI Step 1, Step 2. Yeah, and so on. And there's of course there are also tools about emotional intelligence. Some are complex, and the Enneagram and what have you. So I think whatever you use, it's all fine. Just make sure that you know at the end of the day what makes you tick and what makes the other person tick. And then you can see, aha, this person is coming from there. And then you can listen, actively listen, and you can open up to this person. I think this is the most important thing. So don't ban anybody, even some people who don't take the vaccine, don't ban them and say they are stupid, da 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 da. But really try to understand, put yourself in his, her shoes and see what are the reasons. And the second thing is when you understand reality better, so how you tick, how others tick, when you listen, then new solutions may come in, solutions you didn't think about. So together we are much better in thinking outside the box than any of us alone.